All right, let's rock and roll. It's creeping in on around 6 o'clock. They're down to two hypochondriacs. They're not all hypochondriacs, but 90% are. Uh, this younger generation is strange. A same sex couple drove by. She rolled down the passenger, rolled down the window, and screamed out, "Monkey tail." Hmm. I guess that's a TikTok thing or something. I don't know. Don't really care. I'm in a good mood. I told you I don't care. I saw this coming 11 days ago when the bushwhack team came out here. Uh, it's election time. I know what's going on. I'm mostly just thinking about overhangs. This is an area in which there are very few overhangs, and tonight they're predicting starting I think around 11 or so, and throughout the most of the night, potential for some heavy rains in areas. There's one overhang not too far away. I won't name it. It's not a very good overhang. It's very small, and depending on the direction of rain, but a long time ago, a woman gave me one of them huge blue. Well, it's like I think about an 8 by 10 tarp, and I've still got it in the bag underneath my wheelchair, where I also keep my pair of shoes that look brand new. Uh, so that's my number one option without having to like cross decile or something like that. There's one spot over there that should be a number of people I've seen use it on rainy nights. And you can usually pick up a change of clothes there, except unless you're my size. Then there's really no other overhangs around here. That's between the bench, which anyway. So that's really the only thing that's occupying my mind right now is where are the overhangs. When you live homeless, you usually get into. I try to all the time. All my whole life, I've been a plotter and a planner and a list maker and a budgeting kind of person and stuff like that. So, and a tactician. But when you live homeless and you're subject to the weather, you, when a weather event is finally about to come up that hasn't happened for almost 8 weeks now, we haven't really. It's been at least 6 weeks ago or more since we had a little 2/10 of an inch of rain. It's been 8 weeks since we've had any kind of real measurable. It's been at least 8 weeks. Yeah. So, yeah, at least. So that's really the only thing on my mind. Otherwise, I'm just staying right here where I don't have to pack up, don't have to load up, push up, come back. See, in a lot of ways, they only really needed that area because it had a bench, because I could get up off a bench. I can't get up off the ground. And it had an overhang where in really bad weather, I could get up in the corner and I'd have to sleep setting up, but at least I wouldn't be soaking wet. And especially in cold weather, that's, life threatening. You can die at 50 degrees, especially if you're not young or if you're on alcohol or other drugs or shit like that. You can freeze to death. You can die of hypothermia at 50 degrees. Especially if you're wet. So that's really all I'm thinking about is watching the radar. They'll probably be wrong again, though. They've been threatening rain for days now, and uh, we got enough the other day just barely to kind of wet a few windshields and show up on the tarmac a little bit. So I'm not terribly worried about it because I am well rested from that little hypersomnolent bout that I had that was, and if it really comes down to it, I have just like my first winter in Austin, I got an 8x10 tarp I can wrap myself in to stay dry, and don't have a rain suit because they just really don't make them in my size for under about $60. Uh, I don't know of any place to Uber off to, although there's a slight possibility of, oh, that reminds me, I need to get some more 30-gallon bags. I need to make sure that my oversized sleeping bag is definitely waterproof tonight. I won't use it, but it needs to stay dry for emergencies. These forecaster guys, they're the only people on earth that can be wrong 100% of the time and still draw a paycheck. But I've looked at the maps, I've watched the radar and stuff like that. It's unlikely we're going to get a blue norther just suddenly. The ground is too warm. The ground north of here is way too warm to really allow it. One of them Canadian clippers to come zipping down here in just 24 to 36 hours. They move that fast. So that's pretty much it. And all I know is I've got plenty of beef and vegetables for more hot beef stew. I'm probably going to have a cup of hot organic green tea, organic cane sugar, and I'm going to just keep on keeping on. This is my fourth winter homeless. And those people who have thought that I am weak-minded or weak-willed have seriously misjudged me. And I know that primarily my being told that I'm unwelcome to sleep on the bench at the clinic is primarily politically motivated. And I'm just waiting for November 6th when the rioting, arson, and looting begins. Because I know what the outcome of the election is going to be. And I don't think it's going to be close at all. There, and wet weather and bad weather, it's, anyway, this isn't an area where there's just much of Austin's like that, but because of the kind of the basic building code around here, the building style, especially in this mall, there are just almost no overhangs. Although the owner at 7-Eleven has told me repeatedly on cold nights or wet night, I'm free to come and at least sit out front where there's an overhang. And on cold nights, he told me last year, just come in and just park right by the front door. But he's had a change at, I think he's gotten rid of the two guys at night that I don't like. It have been rude to me, or although I think that guy that listens to the gay dance channel, I think he's going to be on tonight. And then he'll have to call Paul or something. But Paul was very nice to me today and stuff. He even gave me a Frostbank pen. He goes, "Oh, this is for you," and stuff like that. He was real. Paul respects me. He knows that as soon as I was able to, I stopped hanging around 7-Eleven. I used to just as soon, because I didn't want the coffee to get so cold before I drank it. As soon as I get outside, I'd go around the corner and get out of the wind and chug it down. But now I got my own stove, my own cooking cup, my own frying pan, my own, and I'm saving right there. Well, pretty close to. Well, especially if you count by number of cups, I'm saving more than $75 a month by making good, non-toxic, organic green tea with organic, cane sugar. Part of my mood is the fact that my gut doesn't hurt me, isn't hurting. I don't feel bloated. I don't feel inflamed. I haven't eaten any Franken food in a long time now. Not even one little bit. I had a couple of slips, and somebody would hand me a croissant. It was mostly animal products with just a little bit of wheat. It's supposed to be made with real butter, even according to their own recipe, published recipe at Starbucks. So I don't reject everything that Starbucks got. I just would rather not eat anything that's got wheat in it or any other possibilities. So that's really the primarily thing on my mind is that, but I'd still have, thank you, Chris, by the way, I still have that like 48-inch umbrella that a friend gave me uh, about a year ago at this time. And I've used the heck out of it. That thing's been a real lifesaver. People have given me a lot of junk that I absolutely, couldn't possibly use. It was absolutely worthless. I forgave them because it made me stronger carrying it to the dumpsters and the trash cans. And the few things that are really valuable to me and have been good to me, that have been gifts, I've kept them and I've taken care of them as best as I can. So I don't reject everything. I just reject the stuff that I don't need. People have tried to give me things that don't fit, that don't, a lot of people been calling me the ungrateful bum. It's not a matter of lack of gratitude. It's a matter that you didn't think before giving me like that. Charles Sims, when I finally stood up, he was trying to give me a Swiss Tech jacket that was a medium, and I'm a triple XL. When I finally stood up and he could see that, you know, my whole chest, everything's twice as I'm a foot taller than him, and everything, he finally realized how, unrealistic his gift was. Right now, I'm down to the absolute basics of what I need to survive. And I do have the only thing that actually I have pound for pound in space, cubic foot for cubic foot. It's mostly water. But I'm telling you right now, with the way things are going and not having a good, safe place to bathe, bathing's about to slow down. But I was doing a chemical bath early this morning and stuff like that. It was, in wintertime, I don't care, and I usually don't get to bathe as much and stuff like that. I'm going on here too long here now. It's 13 minutes. I'll probably be keeping my videos a lot shorter and stuff. I'm just glad that we're finally down to the election. Yeah, I know there's going to be a really bad aftermath that's going to make January 6th look like the drunken frat party that it was. And I really think that we're going to see a lot of rioting and arson and looting and destruction of private property in all the big cities. I think that's the ultimate. I've told you months ago now. It's 6-7 weeks ago I started predicting, especially after like the Trump attempted unaliving. I think I have to use that word now. That it was swinging his way. I know I've managed to swing a lot of votes here, and all the way to Australia. Cass Comerford has admitted on video that for the first time in his life, he's voting liberal, which means conservative. Labor means socialism, and this, same in England. Well, there's actually not anyway. There's a little bit slight warm up as long as the wind ain't bad. The wind grinds on my psychology as bad as the traffic noise. Actually, I've noticed today and yesterday, the rush hour traffic in the evening has been not half of what it normally is. Anyway, as you can see, I'm really taking this hard. Please, I've always been kind of an outdoorsman type. I have survived in conditions that few people have the skill or the will to do so. They'll do anything. I kind of promised myself, or I've been having a mindset so I can let everybody, except for children, listen to these videos as I come back on. There are people that will literally do anything to get out of the weather. I won't. I have morals and principles and taboos that shall not be crossed. Nope. There are a lot of things, and I'm sure there's a lot of good old boys out there, and a lot of people out there listening to me that agree with me. There are things that I would rather die than, well, than to do. And I'll let you leave it to your imagination without me having to get vulgar, because I want to just keep this open to people 13 and up. Anyway, I'll let you go now, and all I got on my mind is watching the radar and watching the hourly and thinking about how far it is to the overhangs. Actually, I don't know how they expect me to go without technically, they really can't do that. Oh yeah, I can use the sidewalk. I keep forgetting there's, so you can't keep me off the sidewalk, but it would be a lot easier. No, actually the sidewalk is more level. It would keep me from going up over that hump because the sidewalk stays level. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Well, I'm always thinking of the shortest path, but there's some overhangs. Not much in that direction, but there's several options. Hey, little girl, before you go, I know you're trying to impress your partner, I think is the word I'm supposed to use, but I still have no idea what monkey tail means. I guess that's a TikTok thing, like I said at first. I'll see you guys later. If anybody feels like dropping by and chatting for a while, feel free. I'm in the mood for it. I got time to pass because I don't have to plot and plan and watch the clock and load up, go up, unload, do all that stuff. I'm here. In a way, it's kind of a relief because I always used to dread that, and then not knowing whether or not they had people that were going to come in after hours and the door would be unlocked and they would still treat them. I always wonder, why do these hypochondriacs wait until they've had dinner, obviously, and have bathed and put on freshly laundered clothes? If they really needed urgent care, why didn't they go before dinner and before putting on clothes that are just still reeking of, laundry detergent or fabric softener fragrance? Always wondered about that. If it's such an urgent thing, why did you take time to have dinner, bathe, and put on fresh clothes? Anyway, also part of my good mood is my eyes haven't been just battered by sunlight and that blue bounce light. It's rough on me. Oh, and I got to keep an eye. I got one battery charging over 7-Eleven. I think I'm on fairly good terms with Starbucks as much as I talk about them, but I think their management, because he subscribed and acted like he was, or talked like he was management there, and he was telling me, he was assuring me of something, but then because I wasn't sure whether he was a real channel or not, I had to keep him from commenting. But I know the owner at 7-Eleven is a very friendly party to me because I've always acted, I've never bothered any of his customers. and have never mooched or loitered or hung around anytime that I didn't have to. He knows it was strictly, he quickly realized that I'm different than the other guys, other homeless people. I'm not some able-bodied meth head just coming in up here to mooch and steal. He knows I don't steal. He's watched me on them cameras. You know, you can spot the thieves because they're always constantly touching shit. I said the S word. That's actually allowable under PG-13. I know what words I can say or say. I can say the F word, the S word, the D word. There are several. And if you want to complain, you go right ahead. Then all I have to do is go back and, because they'll ask me if I want to edit it, and all I have to do is go back and just bleep it. Simple as that. So go ahead and make your complaints. Just remember, you're not getting anywhere. After 90 days, a strike is forgiven. I'm only at strike number 1 right now. Got 2 more to go, and then you have to aggravate that because YouTube owes me money. I'm a YouTube producing partner. They right now owe me $25. I think that's after they take their cut. So if they were trying to deactivate my channel without paying me immediately, that would be a legal issue. Would be pretty crooked. I'll see you guys later. And yeah, if you feel up to it, it's Friday night, right? Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And to all you, actually, I'll finish with this. I've given the Christians a hard time here because they've given me a hard time. But the good Christians haven't given me a hard time. They've just come up and given what they know I needed, which was like cash. And never bothered me, never try to convert me. In this town, Pflugerville, is full of good Christians, good Christian people who don't feel like they have a right to interrogate me and stuff. And I don't judge all Christians by the bad ones that have been attracted to me. I told you I'm a scientist and a rational person. That would be called prejudice and bias. If I judged all Christians by the behavior of a few, that would be stupid. I'll see you later because I ain't stupid. Later. Y'all have a good night. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Let's pray for a little peace and a little victory. Peace, victory. Learn the difference. Winston Churchill used to do this. Then the hippies started doing this. Later.